Hi everyone. So this week I'm focusing on meditation and yoga for running. My sister and her girlfriend are doing a, what is it called? Solo but not alone core run teen. There it is. And so it's a group run that you can do next week. At any time, as long as it's sometime during that week, and you post about your run, and you can do whatever length you want, but essentially it's an online group. Everybody's doing the run together, but apart, and they've raised a lot of money so far. Your registration is a donation to the Oregon Food Bank, and then they have a bunch of fun prizes, which includes a virtual yoga session with me, an hour-long virtual yoga session with me. So that's all coming up next week. You can go on to my Instagram page or Facebook page. Like a post or two ago, I posted, has that link, and you can find it there if you're interested in signing up. Come run with us. But in that spirit, I am posting tomorrow a meditation for running. And I mean, really, it was made with that in mind, but the meditation, I think, is also just a wonderful way to connect with the earth, and especially, in contemplating kind of moving in synchronicity and rhythm with the earth. So that is available to you right now on my YouTube channel, and I'll be posting about it in the next day or two as well. And then there will be this yoga, and I think I might do one more. Just really nice way if you're running a lot right now. I know that that's a very it's a popular activity right now, while we can't utilize some of our more typical go-to gyms and fitness facilities. So making sure though that while you're running, that you're making it safe in your body by really opening up the areas that tend to tighten during running, making it safe by just strengthening the areas that are helpful to strengthen when you run, like your core, and then just knowing that you'll get stronger with your running if you're also lengthening out your muscles. So that is, there's a lot of good reasons. Yoga is so complementary to a running practice, and so these are just going to be a couple short yoga routines that you can do to either on the off days of your running, or even just at the beginning or end of your run, to help kind of open up at the end or beginning of it. And then another thing that meditation and yoga do that's so nice for running is really bring you into a very present-minded place in your mind and really make you connected with your breath and with your body. So while you're moving, you might find that you can be more mindful about your movement while you're running. You might find that you're able to stay with your breath in a different way. And a lot of people find that really helps improve their running. So hopefully, this is just something that can be easy for you to wrap into your running practice, if that is. Otherwise, it might just be a nice yoga routine for you to do. So thanks for joining, and more to come soon. Okay, so I have my block here ready to go. Again, you can use a pillow, rolled up blanket, or towel, whatever you have, just something that you'll be able to bring between your legs for our abdominal exercise. All right, so let's begin in a kneeling position. If you have a block with you, you might stack that under your feet and kind of open them up, bringing that block or pillow under your sit bone. Something where you can really feel this lift in the chest and maybe a little bit of length through your lower back. So notice if you're really dipping forward and compressing through the lower back, and feel for lengthening it out. So drawing the tailbone down toward the ground in just a gentle way of lengthening that low back out and lifting up into the chest. All right, bringing hands down along your side. We'll inhale, bringing the arms up. Interlace fingers, pressing out as you exhale. Take a deep inhale, reaching up. As you exhale, twist to your left. Take another deep inhale, pressing up toward the ceiling. On your exhale, use your obliques to come into the twist a little bit more. On your next inhale, reaching up. On your exhale, twist. One more deep inhale, pressing up toward the ceiling. And on your exhale, bringing that right hand down to your left knee and move into that twist. Just reaching your left hand behind you. Keep lifting through the chest as you inhale. Use the leverage of that right hand pressing into the outer left thigh to come a little bit more deeply into that twist. 2 more deep breaths here. And then placing that left hand down on the ground, about a foot outside of your left hip. Maybe you're bending a little bit into that elbow to draw the shoulder down away from the ear. And then reach that right arm up and over, pressing down through the right hip so that you're grounding down there and then lengthening, lifting away from it. Again, notice if that left ear's cranking up toward the shoulder, pulling it down, bending through the elbow, reaching out. And then taking a few deep breaths into the right side, ballooning the right side of your rib cage open. One more deep breath, maybe sighing out the mouth, stretching your jaw wide. And then inhale, floating that right arm up, staying in the exact same position that you are, only moving that right arm. And then press out through the right fingertips, finding an opening through the right side of your neck. A few deep breaths here. Adjusting as you need to, whether you're turning your chin down a little bit, maybe you're opening up through the jaw, finding the space where you really feel this opening through your neck. Big, deep breaths. And then extending out through the right fingertips, lifting up through to center, using your left hand against the cheek to lift the head up through to center. Inhale, reaching arms up. Interlace fingers, exhale, pressing up toward the ceiling. And then take another deep inhale, reaching, pressing the palms up toward the ceiling. On your exhale, turning to the right, using your obliques to come into this twist. Each inhale draws you longer, reaching the crown of the hands toward the ceiling. Each exhale draws you deeper into the twist. One more deep inhale, pressing out. And on your exhale, release the hands, bringing your left hand down to the outer right thigh, and then reaching back through the right hand. Now you're using that leverage of your hand against your leg to draw into the twist a little bit deeper, but maintain that length. So each inhale, you're lengthening up. Each exhale, you're moving a little bit deeper into the twist. And then placing that right hand down, a foot outside of your hip, maybe bending into that elbow a bit so you can draw the shoulder away from the ear. And then reach up and over, really planting down through the left sit bone so that you can lengthen and lift away from it. Let your head release over to the side, reach out through your left fingertips. And then stretching your jaw with each exhale. Knowing that every time you stretch your jaw and exhale, you're releasing not just through the jaw, but it helps facilitate a release through the body, especially in the hips, a place that for runners is a really important place to open, and find that release in. And then without moving any of your body other than your left arm, inhale, reaching it up and down, extending out, finding an opening through the left side of the neck. As you reach out through the left fingertips, continuing to find that release through the jaw as you exhale. Maybe even sticking your tongue out, finding that lion's breath. Next, inhale, reach out through the left fingertips, pulling yourself up through center. Right hand comes to left cheek, lifting head up. All right, now we're going to open up through the feet a bit. Another really important place to open if you're running a lot. So coming onto your hands and knees, tuck all 10 toes under, and then sit back toward your heels. This will be, probably pretty different for each of us. So finding your place that works. This might be enough of an opening through your feet and your toes. This helps to prevent plantar fasciitis especially. It might feel okay for you to begin to come back, maybe sitting straight up for that toe stretch, or maybe planting the hands, fingers pressing in and leaning back. And then you can check out what it feels like to begin to continue to lean forward in the toe stretch, but bring the knees up. So that'll begin to open up through the toes a bit more. So taking a couple deep breaths wherever you are, and then we'll begin to move into a little bit of a cat-cow movement. And you should be able to do that no matter where you are in this position, whether you're straight upright or still leaning forward. The main point is to keep the toes tucked under and move with your breath. So we'll take an inhale, open up through the chest, draw the knees down. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in, lifting knees up, rounding through the back. Pull the belly in. Inhale, opening up through the front of the body. Exhale, rounding, pushing the breath out, pulling the belly in. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, rounding, pulling the belly in. And then coming forward again, hands planted in front of you, release the toes and just kind of tap them out. All right, coming down onto your back with your prop, the block, blanket rolled up or pillow. And we'll be working the ab muscles a bit here. That really helps provide you a lot of stability in your running. So bringing the block or other prop that you have between your thighs, your feet can remain flat on the ground here. You can bring your knees up over your hips or extend your feet straight up toward the ceiling. And it's ideal to have them right up over the hips, straight up from the hips. Take your hands and bring them under, interlace them behind the head. And when we reach up here, we're going to wrap the elbows in around the face. For some people, that instantly creates this kind of yanking up of the neck. Staying really conscious instead of using your elbows and arms to lift you up, but keep your head resting back. So the chin stays open and my neck stays really relaxed as I rest back into this hammock I've created with my hands. And the strength is coming from my arms to lift the head up, or to hold the head as it lifts up. Take a deep inhale, press the low back down into the ground. So completely taking that air space out between the back and the ground. And then on your exhale, squeeze the block, scoop pubic bone and feet up toward the ceiling, lift head and shoulders up. Push all the breath out, hold the belly in, lift up again. Inhale, head and shoulders lower. Take a deep inhale, press lower back down, squeeze the block, Exhale slowly. Head and shoulders lift. Keep head relaxed back. Push all the breath out. Pull the belly in. Scoop up again through pubic bone and shoulders. Inhale, come all the way down. Lower back presses down. Squeeze the block. Exhale, lift. Push all the breath out. Pull the belly in. Squeeze the legs. Lift again. Inhale, come all the way down. Press lower back down. Squeeze that block. Exhale slowly. Shoulder blades lift. Legs and pubic bone lift. Push the breath out. Neck stays relaxed. Hold the breath out. Pull the belly in. Lift again. Inhale all the way down. Lower back presses down. Scoop pubic bone up. Squeeze the block. Exhale slowly. Shoulder blades lift. Pubic bone lifts. Push the breath out. Pull the belly in. Inhale, come all the way down. One more time. Squeeze the block. Curl pubic bone up. Exhale slowly. Shoulder blades lift. Lift a little bit more through feet and pelvis. Push all the breath out. Pull the belly in. And then inhale, come all the way down. Feet lower. Keep that prop between your thighs. Reaching down, letting your fingertips graze your heels or maybe move a bit beyond it. Palms face up. Take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, curling pubic bone up off the ground, letting the low back, mid back, upper back come up. Keep those palms facing up toward the ceiling. And then use the work of your breath as you inhale to telescope the chest toward the chin. Your feet have this really grounded foundation, especially squeezing the block. You're rooting the legs in one place. And then as you breathe, instead of breathing into the belly, you're pulling the breath up into the top of the chest and finding this nice length through the torso, through the spine. Two or three more deep breaths. And then floating the arms up, bringing them onto the ground. Slowly lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae, releasing your pelvis at the very end. And then go ahead and remove your prop. And we'll roll over to one side, pressing up, and then coming forward onto hands and knees. Bringing the hands right under the shoulders, spreading your fingers open wide and pressing into all parts of the hands, making the middle finger point straight forward. Tuck the toes under, take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, pressing back into down dog. Now if your hamstrings are tight, which might happen if you run a lot, notice that there's this tendency to kind of come forward into the upper body and take that work out of the lower body. So feel for really reaching back through the sit bones, and I want everyone to bend their knees. Feeling a wrapping in of the shoulder blades. So you're wrapping them toward your chest, your elbows are wrapping in toward each other. Bend deeply into the knees, really reach back through the sit bones. So you're lifting the weight up out of your arms and taking it into shifting the weight back toward your lower half. From there, see if you can maintain that length and begin to slowly lengthen through the back of your legs, drawing your heels toward the ground. But notice if it collapses you into your upper back, and if it does, keep the knees bent and just straighten them as you can, drawing the heels down without compromising that length through your torso, the lift of the weight up out of the upper body. Your next inhale, lifting up through the back of the right leg, and then stepping the right foot through for lunge. Left knee comes down. We'll come up, taking a couple deep breaths here. Notice if you're collapsing into this hip, instead pulling it back, which may mean that you have to come up out of the lunge just a little bit. But it's better to maintain that hip stability than to compromise, right? So drawing that right hip back and then coming forward, but maintaining that integrity in the hip. Arms reach up if they're not already there. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then releasing the hands, planting your left hand down, twisting up, reaching up through your right fingertips. And this might be where you stay, or reaching back, taking a hold of the left ankle or foot and drawing that ankle in as you stay in this lunge position. With each breath, notice how your body unwinds. The little subtle shifts that happen as you connect in and breathe. On your next exhale, gently let that foot release back, drawing both hands to the inside of the right foot, and then dipping down to the degree that feels okay for you. So this might be enough as it is. You may choose to come down onto your forearms. Breathing deeply. Coming up onto your hands again, and then reaching back, planting in down dog. Finding that space of really opening up through the lower body without compromising the weight of the space in the upper body. And then inhale, lifting up through the left leg. On your exhale, stepping that left foot through, finding your lunge. If you're on a hard floor surface, maybe you roll the edge of the mat over, bringing some padding under your knee. And then arms reach up. Again, feel for maintaining that integrity by pulling back into the left hip socket, even if it means you come up a little bit. Find that integrity and then dip back down. Notice if you're compromising into the lower back and lengthen there. So my hip is pulling back and in, my lower back is long, and now as I dip forward into the lunge, I can really feel this opening through my hip flexor and the front of my quadricep. On your next exhale, that right hand comes down, left arm reaches up, maybe staying here, maybe reaching back to take a hold of that right foot. One more deep breath here. And then on your exhale, gently releasing it, bringing both hands to the inside of the left foot. And again, this might be the space for you to hang out and breathe, letting go through the back of the neck, or maybe you're coming down onto the forearms. Breathing here. Letting your mind rest in the breath in a place of knowing that this isn't a race to get to, that this is a process of opening and unfolding, that this journey will continue to get easier every time you do it. This journey of opening the body up, of stretching it. So especially if you've been a long time runner, it might not happen quickly, and that's okay. Your next inhale, bringing your hands back underneath, stepping back one more time into down dog, finding that space one more time of lengthening through the body, rolling, wrapping the shoulders in, reaching back, really feeling that length through the back of the legs, even if they're a little bit bent. And then bringing the knees down to the ground. And we'll come into a seat with the legs extended out in front of you. All right, so this one is really good for opening the entire back of the body. We're going to maintain a flat back at first and just hinge forward. Your hands might come alongside you, they might walk out a little bit, but really finding that lengthened back. For a few deep breaths. And then on your next exhale, beginning to walk forward to whatever degree feels okay. Let go through the back of the neck. Keep feeling for, rather than just drawing your forehead down, feeling for what would it be like to draw my chest and belly down before my forehead, right? So you're maintaining that length, the reaching out through the chest, and then maybe finding a place where you can plant the hands and begin to pull through a bit. Maybe your hands come around your feet. This is also a nice place to hold a towel around the feet so that you can provide a little bit of leverage to keep that length through the spine, through the chest. So letting go, the place that works here for you. And let's take 5 deep breaths. Knowing that your knees can maintain a little bit of bend here, if that's helpful to keeping that back a little bit more lengthened. And it doesn't have to be completely flat, but just so that you're feeling for that length rather than completely rounding in. One more deep, full breath. And then on your next inhale, slowly rolling up. We'll come all the way down onto the back. And then we're crossing the right leg over the left, taking a hold of either shin, and then feeling for pulling the ankles, the shins, away from each other as your knees draw in toward your chest. Should feel a pretty nice opening through the hip, around the sit bone, maybe up down through the hamstring a bit. Breathe here. Switching sides, crossing in the other direction and taking a hold of the shins, pulling them away from each other, knees come in toward chest. Two more deep breaths. And then releasing, making your way into Shavasana, just extending out, letting your palms face up, hands come alongside pelvis. And then settling into a really natural rhythm in your breath. Really allowing your body and your mind to completely surrender to this present moment. Just completely letting go. Absorbing all the magic, the opening. Releasing. 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 And then beginning to find movement in your fingers and your toes. As you're ready, drawing your knees in toward your chest, rolling over to one side. And then using your hands to press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. So I'd like to finish today with a quote from Eckhart Tolle. Conscious breathing, which is a powerful meditation in its own right, will gradually put you in touch with the body. As soon as your habitual state changes from being out of the body and trapped in your mind to being in the body and present in the now, your physical body will feel lighter, clearer, and more alive. So regardless of whether you're sitting in stillness, moving through asana on the mat, or running through the streets or nature, by bringing your mind into this present moment of now, this space of now, you're shifting your mind into a different plane of being. So really bringing that into your practice of movement whenever you can, to bring yourself into a very present-minded place and working from that place in connection with your body, in connection with your breath, and being there as you move in whatever way pleases you in that moment, just doing it in a present-minded way. So happy running, happy moving. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.